Hi everyone, Janine Regan-Sinclair here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you that may have missed my Patreon meditation and healing today with the One Portal, I've left that open. If you want to go to my Patreon channel, there should be a link below, and you can catch up on that. It was a powerful healing with the One Portal and meditation today. So tonight I would like to talk about sentience and just the whole concept of sentience and how everything is sentient. I've spoken before about how animals have changed in that they're sentient, but animals are here to learn about emotions, and animals live in the moment, and they're just pretty much unconditional love all the time. Because of that, they don't hold on to things like humans do, but they are evolving. And I've spoken before about the sea wolves on Vancouver Island, and how the alpha female and the other female with cubs shared a den together so that one could hunt while the other babysat. This is not normal behaviour for animals. They're becoming more sentient because our hearts are opening up more, because of what's going on with the planetary alignments and so on and so forth. Plants are evolving as well. And you only need to go on YouTube and look up, plants singing or recordings of plants and things like that, and you'll find videos on the sentience of plants and how plants are learning to develop mind. And they learn this through being near humans, be it by connecting with humans, by touching one another, by us talking to them. My plants at home are very effervescent, but I move them together so that their leaves touch one another. And I put a white light on them at night, a daylight white light, and they absolutely love it. They're thriving on it. And I do, communicate with them, just saying good morning, good evening, and tell them, that I love them and they're beautiful. And I've written love on the pots, and I got some little pebbles and put the word love in there. And my aloe vera plants are just having more and more babies constantly. They're so fertile. But what else is sentient? When we think about sentient, obviously humans are sentient, but what else is sentient? Is a rock sentient? Is a glass of water sentient? Is the ocean sentient? Is a cloud sentient? Well, it all is. There are people out there that communicate with water, and if you read books or even again go online and look up the I forget what it's called now, something of water, Emoto Mazuru, I think his name is, photographs taken of water, frozen water, that was near monks and some that was near rock music, and it's just completely distorted, the rock music. And the one that was near the monks with the chanting, it's got this beautiful frosty star shapes to them that are more or less symmetrical. That's sentience. That's because the water is listening to its surroundings. When if you think about all of the elements, so we've got earth, air, fire, water, space, everything is sentient. Even the air that we breathe is sentient because it holds on, it holds on to the experiences that we're having. So if we're blessing the water, if people are blessing the water and blessing, all the food and all the water in the ocean, all the water that everyone's drinking, why not bless the air? Why not ask one, God, Creator, whatever works for you, to bless the air so that we're all breathing it in? Everyone's breathing it in. Everything's experiencing that oxygen that's been blessed. The same goes with space. Everything is consciousness. Everything is conscious. Everything is malleable. Everything is changeable. And when we as humanity, as a species, wake up to remembering who we truly are, that we've got in our DNA that God-given power, albeit in a smaller quantity. But when we come together, like we do on my Patreon channel, that is amplified tremendously. And we can make changes virtually overnight. If there was 10,000 people working together, which is one of my goals, then the changes that we would make if we got together and opened the one portal and released certain things into the portal and then started to meditate together in no mind, just being quiet for 20 minutes and just imagining the world being corruption-free, homelessness-free, starvation-free, cruelty-free, all of these other things that unfortunately we know are out there, but we're not always sure of what we can do to make the changes. The thing is, we need to step up. We need to step up and own the darkness and the shadow side of our reality experience, because it's a projection of our shadow side and our ancestral shadows and our fears and our judgments and our hates and everything else that we've been through in multi-dimensional lifetimes and what we've inherited from our ancestors. It's not just going to go away. If we want to live in a beautiful world, we need to behave like beautiful souls, beautiful people. If we want to end corruption, we need to stop lying and manipulating one another. We need to start voting with our money for the people that are running integral businesses and supporting more small business owners again, like we used to when I was a girl. We are the only ones that can make a difference. There is no saviour coming. I know there's a lot of talk about these timelines and saviours coming to do this and to do that, and there's going to be this flash and it's all going to be amazing. We're experiencing solar flashes a little bit at a time, and today is one of them. And on the 8th, on Monday, the 8th of April, we've got a massive solar eclipse, and we've just had a lunar eclipse last week. So this is a very important time, and the numerology around the dates of what's going on at the moment amplifies it. 1111s is DNA, 22s, 22s are master numbers. On the 8th, if you put the date out in all the figures of 8, I think there's 9 8s in it. Well, what is a number 8? Number 8 is an infinity symbol. So when we're working together, and we don't need to be together to do that, we just need to be meditating with the intention of that meditation joining everyone else's who's doing it on the planet, and we've already become a group just because of our intention. When we meditate on Monday and do any healing, that's amplified with all those figure 8s, all those infinity symbols. This is a massive leap forward. So the next few days is an important time for TLC, for you to retreat, eat clean, rest, let go of what you want to let go of, let go of your trauma, let go of your fears, let go of your judgment, let go of unforgiveness, anything that isn't your, for want of a better word, divine self, your authentic, true self, that didn't have those programs in their system. It's a time to be letting those things go. And it's a time to be meditating and being at peace and amplifying that around the world. And now you know about the sentience of fresh air, the sentience of water, the ocean, the water in reservoirs, the water in the utility system. It's all consciousness. And those of you that pray, and I know there's a lot of you that do, you can be praying to God, Creator One, whatever works for you, to send bliss and pure love into all of the water, into the air, into the fire, into the earth, into the ethers of everything, and making such a difference just with that intention in your heart. Far too many people are just sitting back, even people that are awake to the changes that are happening on the planet at the moment, and waiting for something to happen when we have to make it happen. And at the moment, we're a year into a 3-year section of an 11-year sun cycle. And in this 3 years, 60% historical change on the planet. That's massive. The rest of that 40% is spread out over 20%, a 5% and a 15% over the other 7 or 8 years in that cycle. So the next 2 years, if we do the work, the more we work on ourselves, that projection of who we are and our own purity and our own refinement is reflected back to us in the world around us. So if we get out of our systems the lies of generations, the lies that we've told, and people tell lies, they do it with a good intention, but it's still lying. The trauma that we've got in our systems, the addictions that we've got in our systems, the bigotry we've got in our systems, all of these things need to be released. The dogma that we've got in our systems, the lies and the manipulation about health and mental health, all of this needs to go. I read something the other day that said 50% of people in the UK are now using complementary and alternative therapies. That's a lot. That's a big shift. That's a big change. But it needs to be more. People need to realise that we can heal ourselves. We can heal ourselves with meditation. We can heal ourselves by connecting to that source, by bringing that energy into our system, by using the one portal, by allowing ourselves, giving ourselves permission to release what's impure in our systems, the pain that we've carried. If we don't, by the time we get into our 50s, 60s, 70s, have a look around you at older people when they're walking on walking sticks full of pain. Why are they full of pain? Some of it's diet and some of it's trauma that they haven't dealt with. Grief, for example. We don't grieve properly. We're feeling deep-rooted grief, yet we've just taught to push it down and get on with things. Eventually it catches up with us. We are the software in the machine of this reality experience. And I've said this before, there is a document online called the Gateway Process that explains creation, and that it's a malleable field of consciousness that every human being is a part of. Everything in existence is a part of. But the difference between humans and every other being is that we've got the God particle in our DNA. That's power. That's why we're led into being distracted with the stress and strains of jobs, social media, drugs, alcohol, shopping, materialism, pornography, all of these things distracting people from who they truly are, and it's a trap. We are so powerful when we start to level up. And you can see the changes that are happening. I see them around me. I see the people changing around me. I see good news going on. And now is the time to do it. If we miss that 60% in this next 2 years, we've got to wait another 8 years before that starts again. Well, actually, no more than that, 10 years. Before we get that opportunity again. And I don't know about you, but there's certain things that have happened on this planet in the recent years, and I'm going to be careful because I don't want to get censored, that were the epitome of lies and manipulation and control. And you all know what I'm talking about. And people who are sitting back thinking that's over, that's a naive way to live. There are different timelines going on at the moment, and I've spoken about them before. And we will experience the timeline that we follow. And if we follow the status quo narratives and watching the news and things like that, we're going to be led into a timeline that's not much fun at all. Those of you that recognize that you are the consciousness architects, that you are co-creators with your creator, are making a difference. But you can make a difference every single day. If it's raining outside, instead of saying things like, oh no, what a miserable day, why not ask Creator, one, God, whatever works for you, to bless or bless the rain so that it has an effect. It's like holy water with everything it touches. When it's windy, asking the wind to spread love around, pure love. There's a difference. I've spoken about that before. I'm not talking about the love people say, I love that, I love this, I love my car, I love doing this, I love doing that. I'm talking about pure love from your higher heart, from this heart, the one between your heart and your throat, the one that you love your children with, or your pet, your fur babies. That kind of love. That kind of love there. It doesn't matter what they do, you're still going to love them. It's different. Not conditional love, that most people fall into traps of falling in love. They don't say falling in love for nothing, because it is a lower form of it. It's a chemical reaction rather than a higher heart thing. So even thinking about what we can do to affect the sentience of consciousness, of the conscious plants, the air, the water, the ethers, the earth, even fires. Even sitting around a campfire can be used with intention. You can imagine throwing all your fear into the fire and asking the fire to transmute that fear and turn it into pure love. Because all of these things at their root are God, one, creator, call it what you will. I prefer the word one because it's inclusive of all religions, and there's there's a non-denominational with what I've been sharing with people. But they're all part of that. There's so many things we can send energy into the earth. Mother Earth, Gaia, call it what you will take it from us. You can stand on the earth and you can ask Mother Earth to take away your fear, and imagine your fear going out of your body, down through your legs into the earth. And it will be transmuted with that prana energy. So today's Patreon was different from what I normally do. Normally we connect from the sun down and we bring that light down into the earth and we spread that out from our heart. But what we did today is we brought that light down and then we brought the blue energy up from Mother Earth into our heart, and we mixed the two together so there was a masculine and feminine plus and minus coming together, and then spread that around the planet. And it's going to make a big difference. So if you haven't done it, please let your friends know. I've left it open today, not only to members, but to people that aren't members. If there's anyone out there that is struggling to pay the $5 a month that I charge for my Patreon, I've left today's open because it's an important one, getting people ready for what's happening on the 8th on Monday. But what's happening with this solar eclipse is opening up the third eye, the brain, pineal, pituitary. It's the blue ray coming in. So this is all about mind and expansion of mind. But if there's any limiting beliefs in there, this can be causing you headaches, brain fog, all kinds of stuff, trauma. Hippocampus in the brain gets damaged from alcohol abuse and from stress and trauma. Stress shrinks the hippocampus. So that if there are going to be any problems, it's going to be this blue ray coming in. But this isn't just happening on Monday. This is going to be having an effect for the next 6 months. It's a really powerful energy coming through. How that feels is different to everyone. Some of us are feeling exhausted. You may be hearing like a high-pitched hissing white noise in the middle of your brain. That's normal. It's not tinnitus. You may hear ringing in your ears. You may get brain fog. You may feel full of life and vitality one day, and the next day you're exhausted and you've been in bed for 10 hours and you still feel like you could sleep for another 5. All of this is normal, and it's all part of what's happening on the planet. But what's important is that you are important to the new world. You're important to what you choose to follow, what you choose to read, listen to, watch, the music you play, the food you eat, the words you say to one another, the way you think about other people, your compassion, how much patience you've got with other people. All of this is creating energy, and it's all going out and boomeranging back to us. And I'm seeing people suffering stuff that they're not realizing, that it comes back. Everything we put out is coming back to us. And as we are raising ourselves up in this level of consciousness, what's happening is we become more powerful, because more layers of our energy field is reactivated, lit up again. We start to shine, we start to get bigger, remembering who we are. But that comes with responsibility. And that responsibility is, the bigger you are, the shinier you are, the more light that you put out into the world is great. But if you put any shadow stuff out into the world, that's going to be big when it comes back to you. So it's wise to learn your meditation, learn to be present in the moment, not thinking about what somebody's done to you a week ago and you're still angry about it. Let it go. It's not worth it. Being in the now, being in the present is so important, because we're holding on to that no mind, that power coming in, and we're like a bunch of lovely bees in a hive, all vibrating at the same frequency. And then we produce good stuff, like the bees. The world outside begins to change naturally. It's not about pushing out there to change it, it's about going within and changing it within, and the outside world will change much easier as a result. It's not that we don't take any action, but there's no point pushing stuff outside. For instance, for a long time now, and I'm talking 2 years, I've reached out to so many people about helping me with an audience to heal racism, for example, with the One Portal. They didn't come back to me. People are not getting it. They're not aware of the fact that the One Portal could take racism out. If you've got the Maharishi effect, which is just under 10,000 people that did that together, that's going to have a knock-on effect around the whole world, like the 100 monkey effect. Racism is deep. Racism is deep in our DNA, and it goes back generations. And until there's mass healings, that's going to remain a problem. So if you do know anyone who is awake enough to understand what I'm saying, that may have a bigger platform and may be interested in doing something like that, please do let them know. Sometimes I get frustrated because I see solutions, I've got solutions, and it's like banging your head against a brick wall. People are taking the long route. I took the shortcut. It's only taken me 20 years to get here. That was the shortcut. But I do get frustrated when I've got so much to offer people with the One Portal, and that we could make such a big difference to the world if we filled a stadium and did mass healings in a football stadium or a hockey stadium or something like that. That's my goal. But it's finding the right people who go, yeah, I get it, I've tried the One Portal and that would work. It would work. Because it's not just about opening one. I can open 49 now at the same time. That's a lot of healing for a lot of people. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people could be healed. And not just racism, a lot of other things. I've spoken recently on here about birthing trauma and I'll be careful the words I use, the mass problem with ADD and autistic spectrum disorders and dyslexia and things like this is now being linked to birthing trauma, which is a memory in the system. Memories can be changed to pure love. Everything is frequencies. Everything is ethers. All of these things can be helped. I don't know 100%. I know people I've worked with that it has made a difference 100%. But even if it worked 70%, it's still going to help a lot of people. There is so much that can be done. And sharing videos like this on your social media is getting the word out to people. I've always been a bit more out there than most people and speaking my mind, and I keep getting told it more and more at the moment. Speak your truth, speak the truth. Don't be frightened to speak the truth. But there's no point in me speaking the truth if nobody is listening. And I need your help to share these videos and get them out to people. So today is about understanding sentience, and it's not just people are sentient or just animals are sentient. Everything is sentient. Everything is conscious. Everything is alive. Everything is changeable. Everything. Even the air. We've all felt the vibes. If you've gone into a room where there's been an argument, you can feel the bad vibes in the air. That's consciousness. And we've all felt the great ones when we've been to watch a live band, or people singing, or listening to a choir or something like that. That's the good vibes. But it's in the air. Everything carries sentience. Everything is sentient. So even just thinking about that changes the way you look at the world. I remember a long time ago when I was younger, if I was doing the gardening and I was pulling a weed out in the garden, it would just go in the trash and I didn't even think about it. Now I'm like, you're a pretty weed, you can stay. Because I realise it's sentient, and I think, who am I to just go and destroy that life? And the more you get into this, the more you develop your sentience, the more you remember who you really are, you start to look at things differently like that. So, thanks for joining me today. I hope this has maybe allowed you to think a little bit more about sentience and about what is sentient and what isn't, and maybe think a little bit more about sharing the videos that I'm sharing on here and getting the information to more people. There's no pressure. As you know, I had well over 10,000 followers on Instagram, and YouTube is taking off slowly but surely. But it will only take off with your help, guys. So thanks for joining me. As I said, there is a very powerful healing and meditation on my Patreon channel, and I think there's a link below as well. And there's lots of healing stuff on my website, but I'm not here to sell you stuff. So have a great evening wherever you are, great day depending on what time you're on. Thanks, Pam. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. There's a lot of regulars. I know who you are. I'll speak to you all again soon in the Academy. So have a great evening, guys. And happy 4th of the 4th. Enjoy the energies. And I will see you all again soon. Thanks, Racer. Thank you. Bye for now.